Welcome to Class Objects and Pointers. Now, in this video, I want to introduce you to the concept of using classes just like we've done before. But notice, and now I'm using the example very similar to the one that I used in the virtual function basics videos. Okay, so understand we've got a virtual function in here. Got your little note in here. Without virtual, the Persian check age is not called. And oh, by the way, this is all in a solution. That's in a solution in a project called Object Pointers. The code is in an ob.cpp file. You will find this out there in your work files folder, okay? And I would go get this one in work files because there's a little bit of code here, all right? But notice we kind of did this the old-fashioned way, okay? We went out and created an instance of cat at C1. We sent C1's variables or properties different values, and then we called the inoculated from C1, and it did its magic with the check age and all that, and everything came out just great. All right. Then we created another class called C2. C2 is based on the Persian, which is inheriting from the cat, and we went through the same thing. Now let me run this just to let you see that it runs. Everything's okay. If I go out and run object pointers, notice from the cat class, yes, the cat's been inoculated. And then from the Persian, no, the Persian has not been inoculated. So our virtual functions are working. Everything's okay. We're getting what we need. But is there a neater, kind of a cleaner, cooler way to do this? Well, yeah, there is. And it's a little bit easier. It makes it almost polymorphic based on how you're using it. And that is to use pointers to point to these particular objects right here. And so to do that, let me just show you. I'm going to comment out this stuff. Okay, so comment these out, and then notice I'm leaving my object instantiation lines up here, and I'm going to come down here, and the first thing that I'm going to do is create my pointer. Okay, so I'm going to create a pointer to the type of cat, and that is my base object up there at the top, and I'm going to call it POBJ. All right, and I'm going to instantiate it to null, so null PTR. All right, so I don't get any surprises. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to go back and I am going to set PObject, POBJ, equal to the address of C1. All right. Now when I do that, I can first of all set the POBJ, set some parameters on those. All right, and I can set the age of C1. Now notice if I hit period, I don't get anything, because since I'm using a pointer, I have to use the indirect member selector, and that is the dash and the forward arrow, okay, or the greater than sign, if you will, and notice that exposes them to me. So I can set age here equal to, and we'll set age equal to 5. Okay, for Fluffy, because we're dealing with a C1, and we would later name him Fluffy. That's what we did up here, but I'm not going to do that now. Okay, what I am going to do is I'm going to call a different console out here, and I'm going to come down and I'm going to type this in. Notice that we're just going to do a standard console out, and notice we're calling PObject, but we're calling inoculate. All right, and when we call this, it's going to jump up here, it's going to call inoculate, it's going to check age based on what M age is, and it's going to look at the address here, and it's going to make magic happen. Okay, so let's go run this and see what we get. All right, and so we'll let it compile, we'll go out, we will grab it, we will run object pointers, and it says yes, the cat has been inoculated. The cat was 5. If we look at the check age up here, it's greater than 2. Whoop. It's greater than 3, so the cat has been inoculated. Okay, well, what happens now if we take the same code and we now set PObject equal to at C2? All right, and we're going to call the same thing. Okay, and notice now I'm going to copy them so you can see the importance of this. Let me copy them. I did that again. We're going to copy Then we're going to paste down here, and by copying and pasting those you can see the significance of this. This is the only thing that has changed, okay? And so I will compile this, say yes, and the difference here is the first time it runs the object pointer is pointing to the C1 or cat class, and the second time, you notice if you just mouse over it, you're pointing at the Persian class, okay? So let's go out to our window here. Let's call object pointers, and notice the first one, the cat has been inoculated, and then the second one right here, yes, the Persian has been inoculated. If we set that age down to 1 for the second class, which is the Persian, and we recompile, we're going to get a different answer. But I hope you can see the possibilities that you have here with using these pointers. Notice here now, no, the Persian has not been inoculated. This gives you a lot of leeway in using one common object here, which is really the pointer, to point to different objects. But by calling basically the same lines and the same things, all you have to change is the pointer to get totally different results out of that. Okay, so that's just a real simple example of using pointers with your objects.